on, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls? It's theys, thems, cats, dogs, family members of all ages and sexes and races and whatever the hell you want to be. I don't know at this point. You could be a mass terrorist in this country and get away with it in California, apparently. So, yeah. Anyways, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? boys and girls? It is Saturday, April 5th, and we have an angry dog. Wait, where you at? Oh, Shiloh. Yeah, she's not having any part of it. She's defending the house. So, anyways, we got Daddy Bro. Lucian will be joining us later. What's going on, Daddy Bro? How about them? How about them protest?
Bastards.
Oh, he had to go there with the voiceovers.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to the lair.
Oh boy, did we take a deep dive in hell or what happened?
I'm playing with my effects today. Sorry.
Oh, see, and he's over here making fun of me whenever I do it.
I don't have a soundboard anymore because it's all jacked up, and I'm waiting for a new part. And once I get that, then I'm gonna show you how a soundboard works.
What do you use?
I have a Roland Bridgecast X.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And I have a stream, Elgato stream 15 key. But my 15 key has to run through the Roland, and it took me forever to figure out how to make it work. And I need to do a USB-A to USB-C conversion to make it work now. Or at least that's what the people at Roland told me, because I paid all this money for this damn upgrade, and then I can't use half my shit.
Well, I mean, I've got a Steam Deck, and I've got the soundboard, and then I've got the little soundboards on here, too. So I could do all kinds of stuff. I just don't do it. I need to, though. I need to set all that up.
Yep. Gotta put the time in. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, I've been so busy doing this food truck stuff, which that, as you got to see a little bit ago, it's come along.
Yeah, it's good. Looks good.
Yeah. I'm almost there. Like I'm probably what I had planned was going to take 3 weeks is actually only taking me 1. All I'm waiting for now is the health inspection, and I'm good to go.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
I don't miss those days.
I'm super excited for it. Can't you tell? It's written all over my.
Maybe you'll get lucky. He'll be Al Gore, be super serial.
Oh gosh, let's not. It's not. Definitely make up that day. All right. So, anyways, yeah, let's talk about the week, though, shall we? We had a hell of a week.
Do we have to?
Oh boy.
I mean, okay. Well, let's start off with a positive thing here that happened. So, a positive thing that happened is last Sunday, was able to join in on a tabletop game. I didn't get to stream it. Ended up getting there late and unable to set everything up, so I didn't get to stream it like I wanted to. So Twilight 2000.
How was that?
It was fantastic, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I was the only tier 1 at the table because I think I was the only tier 1 at the table that actually saw combat in a urban environment and was able to use a bit of my expertise to do things that most people were like, that's not at all what I was thinking to do, but that's brilliant.
Oh, look, it made you look smart.
Oh, dude, I freaking loved it. It was fantastic. And
people are easily impressed, though. Remember that.
I know.
Just
I mean,
saying.
well, yeah, just look at the protests that happened this past week.
See, you went there, I didn't.
I've gone there twice now in what, 5 minutes?
I'm trying really hard not to say anything.
Yeah, well, come on. It's so worth it. It's
worth
it.
God, it's not worth the jail time.
Let me just say this though: if I was Tatum at UC Davis when they first started, I probably would have put hands on people at that point, not given a warning first. It would have been, you're touching my property, hands on.
Well, yeah, but have you been to UC Davis ever?
Dude, California is not my state.
Okay, well, I get it. I've been there. I've been to Berkeley too. I did a speech at Berkeley once. I went into the belly of the beast, baby.
Yeah, well, they got defunded big time.
Yeah, well, that's sad. True story. I had to have an escort walk me to my car afterward. That's
What?
oh yeah.
I guess you just had all kinds of fun.
They didn't like me very much.
To be fair, you were an acquired taste, sir.
That's what she said.
Like steak tartare.
No man.
Oh my gosh.
It's so true. It's so true.
Well, so I got into a debate with a professor who was a Middle Eastern expert, and I when I let him go first because I always let my victims go before me. And he was popping off about this and that, and I had, now keep in mind, I had literally just gotten back like 2 months before that after being out there for a couple years.
Right.
And I'm sitting here going, really? And this was right after Abu Ghraib happened and all that other bull crap.
Mm-hmm.
And he's popping, it's torture, blah, 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 waterboarding, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, my Jesus. So I finally got fed up and I let Mr. Wonderful run his mouth and let him dig the hole. So I stood up, wrapped the noose around his neck, and then I asked him a couple questions. I started off with asking him, Professor so-and-so, and I don't want to give him any credit, so I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah.
I know him. He's not a bad guy. He's just wrong about everything. Because he's a dumbass. I asked him, I said, what makes you a expert in the Middle East? And he said, well, what do you mean? I said, have you been to the Middle East? And he said, no. I said, oh, okay. Do you speak Farsi? He said, no. I said, oh, are you Muslim by any chance? He goes, no, I'm not. So what makes you an expert? He goes, I read a book. And I said, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You read a book and you're a goddamn genius.
Mm-hmm.
And then I turned around and I gave my creds. I said, well, look, what do I know? I only lived in Bahrain for a while. I only lived in Saudi for a while. I've only been in their culture, embedded in their culture for over 2 years. I speak enough language to get myself in a bar fight. And I understand their culture. I get it. I get what they believe. I've gone to the Grand Imam in Bahrain and talked at the Grand Mosque to the leadership there. I know them personally. I've had tea and conversations and all those good things, but I don't know anything, right? This dumbass does. Oh, the vein in his forehead was popping right off his head. He was so angry. And then we started talking about waterboarding. And I asked him if he's ever been waterboarded. And he said, no. I said, so how do you know it's torture? He said, well, I read it in a book. And I said, oh, there it is, that book again. That magical book that tells you everything. I said, what? So riddle me this, Batman. If it's so torturous, why do we use it as part of our training for Sears?
Right.
Why is that standard? Why is that part of what they go through? Well, whatever do you mean there, Skippy? And so I explained to him how, the teams they're part of their Sears training is they get waterboarded so that they understand what they're up against. It is not torture. It sucks. It sucks hard.
Yep.
No doubt. Simulating drowning is no fun, not even a little bit. However, it is not torture. I don't care what you say. And there's nothing you can do to convince me otherwise. It's not like I'm taking a pair of pliers and pulling your fingernails off and feeding them to you.
Yeah. Or shoving bamboo under them.
Well, that'd be fun too. But
yeah,
I personally like the little piggy game. I take a ball-peen hammer, we start on your toes, and when we run out of those, you can guess where I go next, and it's not your knees. It's a little bit more personal. Yeah, it's much more fun.
Oh, yeah.
That's my point. And I'm like, look, dude. They caught, like, for example, there was one dude. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about this. There was a guy. He was a high-value target. They had him, and they captured him. They stuck him in this lit room where he couldn't sleep and all this stuff. They kept him up for a couple days. And they found out that he's deathly afraid of caterpillars. Mm-hmm. So they took an indigenous caterpillar and told him it was venomous and put it in the cell with him. And he lost his shit. Now, wow. now, this is the best part. People said that was torture. Even though he was never at risk.
You're right.
And I'm like, you don't understand how torture works. That is not torture.
Yeah.
And I get it. You were scared. I'm sorry, Pumpkin. Mm-hmm. God help me. It's war.
Yeah.
And you're a bad person.
Yeah.
You're lucky. They didn't shove a thing of bacon bits up your ass and do some other things to you. Because that's personally what I would have done to him because he was an evil, evil bastard. Right. He was one of their bomb makers. He got what he deserved.
I mean, that's like not feeding a Muslim, though, anything, and then actually giving them a plate of bacon.
Yes, yeah, that'd be that. We see. We
It's
don't. but
uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, that it's okay to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, that's the point. It's like,
At least we feed them
Yeah, it's true.
because they don't feed our guys,
Hmm.
and we don't cut their heads off with rusty nails or anything like they do to other people.
Yeah.
I mean, but this dude was so pissed, and the best part was all these students are like, "Hey, that actually doesn't make any damn sense," and I was like, "Oh no, there's a chance one of you has a brain." And then I got into it with some border idiots, and that was fun. That's why I had to have the escort because Taco and the Taco Brigade were pissed off at me.
So you are a master debater. That's what I'm.
That's one thing you could call it.
yeah,
Well, and the reason I call him, by the way, I'm not throwing out a slur there. The guy's name was actually Paco. I'm not slurring him. That's what his damn name was, and he had his little brigade of people. So, he did not like me one little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yay, someone wants to play." And I was walking to the car, and the cops there, and they're screaming and shouting, and he kind of got up in my face, and I said, "You know what? This cop here is not here for my protection. He's here for your protection, because you would be my bitch right now if he wasn't here. Just know that."
Dude, there's so many times I want to be like you. Sound like you.
I don't.
Me and you are related. Like
No,
in
I don't
some
think
way.
so.
In some
It's
way.
your cousins. Yeehaw.
In some way. Oh man.
Anywho, sorry.
So yeah. Anyways, Lucian, how do you feel about this week's events? And I've got a.
The only series of events that I know about is how the stock market just freaking tanked.
Okay.
No.
Now,
yeah, I mean, I know that. Like,
But do you understand the fundamentals behind why it tanked?
Well, wasn't it
that
because
was actually
Trump finally just released the whole list
He
of
released the
numbers?
Kraken. No, we had
released the
Independence
whole
Day. It
list.
was great.
He released the whole list of
wasn't
tariffs, right?
it wasn't just about the tariffs. It's
That's not
just
why.
about the tariffs.
Okay,
No.
so what are you talking about?
So realistically, the whole reason that the stock market is tanked right now is if you look at where most of our goods have been coming from that were not American made, were Chinese made.
Yeah.
90% of the goods that were coming in were Chinese made.
How is that a surprise?
Yeah. So the stock's tanking like that is supposed to happen. It's going to happen.
So here's a better. Maybe this is just a different take.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's something.
You're better.
Here's something to consider. Keep in mind, I have a finance MBA. Just not throwing it out there to be a dick, but I'm just saying.
He's better at this than I am.
Yeah. Well, so one thing that a lot of people don't consider is the fact we're 18 months over for about a 20-point correction.
18 points over for a 20-point correction.
18 months over. We're late for a correction. And the
reason
being,
I see what you're saying.
The reason being is because the Fed they've been assholes. They've been artificially screwing with with our currency.
Yeah.
And because of that, it has put us in a position where we're basically percolating a bubble. So Trump came along with his big dick action, flipped the bird to everybody, and he said, "Look, bitches, here's the way it's going to be going forward. We're going to have an even playing field, and you're going to beat us on the merits of your abilities to make products better than we are on an even field. Or I'm going to tariff the shit out of everything you have. You're not going to backdoor me anymore." And the reason he's gone so hard against Canada and Mexico is because China is smarter than they look. And what they've been doing is they're staging their companies in Mexico and Canada to get around the tariffs we put on them. Because then it's made in Canada. Well, guess what, dickhead? It isn't anymore. We're done with you too. Y'all can suck it.
It's true.
So people are pissed, and that's fine. Be pissed. The other main thing is the markets hate. They hate when they don't know what's going on. They don't understand it. And I will be honest, and this is where I have a problem with Trump. I don't think this has been explained to the American people properly.
No.
People do not understand. People, there's been a meme going around going, "Oh, we've tried this 100 years ago and it caused a recession and then a depression." Well, dumbass, no, it didn't, because you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
We had a depression and a recession because of other things. Yes.
It was actually caused because we ended a war, and most of our goods were actually created during that war.
Part of that.
And so America got rich over that. When the war ended, all of those factories closed.
That's part of it, but that's not really what it is. It's called there was an act called Glass-Steagall. Okay, what that did was it prevented banks from doing certain things in congruence with each other. Right?
Mhm.
They removed Glass-Steagall, and by the way, it was Democrats. Go figure. That
Mhm.
removed it, and when they did that, there was collusion in the market, and they basically drove it into the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times. They're
It's-
stupid.
But
Every
the
time-
war did play a part of
Well,
it.
war actually, generally speaking, war is what will pick up your stuff, your GDP
Yes.
somewhat. But that's true to a point, and it has to do with productions, and we could get into that, but that's historical. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is, people talking about tariffs, they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
They don't. And I'm not an expert on it either. I'm going to put it out there.
No, the deal
I know
maker
enough
is
to know what. So the bottom line is, what these tariffs are really all about is short-term pain. Because this is what, and mark my words, and by the way, it's already happening because countries are already doing it.
they're already sitting at the table.
Yeah, they're like, whoa, dude, buddy, friend,
Yeah.
wow.
Ally.
He's like, look, bitch, you're going to do it this way, or I'm going to smoke your economy. And guess whose economy is going to crash before mine is?
Everybody's actually.
Yours. Yeah, exactly.
Everybody.
And the EU is losing they're going, what do we do? And I'm like,
Well,
you
it's like
come
haven't we had like tariff like whenever we bring in products from the EU, we were paying tariffs for like forever.
absolutely. Well, keep
They-
them.
they were-
107 countries use tariffs and have for over 100 years,
Yep.
and most of them are against us.
Yeah, and
Well,
and this is true. India actually has a 90% tariff against us. A lot of people don't know this,
Dude,
and we just matched it. We're like,
you
okay,
want me-
you want
I could go down the list of Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Canada has about 35 tariffs in place before this even started that nobody knows about.
Taiwan?
Like they have tariffs against our lumber. They have tariffs against all of our food. They have tariffs against chickens. By the
Well,
way,
it's like, well, part of me was like, is that didn't it hit the United States had a history of using tariffs
yes,
once
because
upon a time.
that was
And
before
then
we had
all of a
income tax.
sudden-
That's
then all
because
of a
they
sudden-
created the income tax.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
why we didn't use it anymore.
And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, it was like, hey, we're not going to do tariffs anymore, but now we're bringing them back because we need it. And it's
Well, we-
and it's
It's
and
not
it's,
that-
it's,
it's
if
not
we're-
even
if
that we
people are
need it.
acting.
It's a
it.
negotiating tool.
So
It's a
so picture this. Okay, a tariff is a hammer,
Yeah.
and
I mean, I
everything looks like a nail to it.
Okay.
Mhm.
The bottom line is we have the most robust, most comprehensive, and largest economy on the planet. It's not even close.
Right.
And the way we go, the rest of the world goes. The difference between us and everybody else is we can last longer without them than they can without us.
Right.
And the problem has always been, and I understand, like, okay, I'm gonna give this little caveat. I understand why Europe doesn't want GMO stuff in their food. I respect that. I don't have a problem with that. But that's the number one on the hit list for foods, right? They ban all our food because we have GMOs, and they don't tolerate it in Europe. Fine, I have no problem with that. That's your choice. But they've been playing the protectionist racket for over 60 years. 80% of the countries in Europe, their governments are basically socialist-run governments. I think that's a fair thing to say, right? They're very social, medicine-wise, and etc. And the bottom line is, most of them don't have standing militaries. They rely on the United States for protection.
Mhm.
Okay, so our racket has always been, hey, we'll protect you, but you got to give us channels here. So we worked some channels, but they've always put up these huge barriers. They put up barriers to steel, to timber, to all of our major industries. Not only that, but we have been stupid in the way we've offshored all of our major supplies and production lines. For example, pharmaceuticals.
Yep.
They're all made in China. Why? Because they use slave labor.
Well, that
And it's
and
cheap.
Africa too.
They're not made in Africa though. They don't have the facilities.
Pharmaceuticals.
They don't have they don't have the infrastructure there.
Pharmaceuticals are or Africa is our.
They're
guinea
tested
pigs.
there, but they're not
Yeah.
built, made there.
No, they're not made.
I'm
there.
talking about being manufactured. They're being manufactured in
okay.
China.
Well, there in India, I think it is. It's India.
Yeah.
Is another one that actually
Yeah.
really big on.
Mhm.
Hey.
So the bottom line, what he's doing here is he's basically flipping the world off and saying we're done with this nonsense and we're taking back control. And he's giving them he made it very clear to them. You want this to go away, all you got to do is come to the table. That's all. And here's the best part. Everybody and their mother, especially on the left, are bitching and complaining. Goes, well, they didn't tariff North Korea. They didn't tariff Russia. Do you know why they didn't? Because we already tariffed the shit out of them. We're already in embargoes with these countries. And by the way, North Korea doesn't make anything. So how can you tariff something when you don't import anything from them, dumbass? The reason we're not tariffing Russia any further is because we've already got these huge restrictions on them. Just devastating, crippling, mind you, crippling stuff.
Yeah, because that was a big thing a couple of years ago.
Yes, and it was done by Biden, and nobody cried.
Yeah.
And what's killing me is they're bitching about how the market went down. The market would, if you look at the numbers of the market today versus 2 years ago, guess which one's lower? 2 years ago. You didn't hear him crying about that, though, did you? Because that was necessary. Got to do it. Huh?
Yep.
Because Biden's a fucking dumbass. Oh, what do you know?
Yep.
The bottom line is
into that too.
Well, look. If the Fed stops playing their little games and they do what they're supposed to do, which is, I'm really not sure what I personally want to make them go bye-bye. They're like a dodo bird that needs to be murdered. Personally, that's what I say. But if we can control the Fed, in about 6 months, you're going to see a huge economic boon in this country. I mean, you're already seeing it. He's already in the first 100 days gotten all these companies to say, "Hey, we're gonna bring manufacturing back to the United States because we don't want to pay these tariffs." That's all he's trying to do. That's all he's doing. He's saying to companies like Ford and Toyota and all these other, you want to make cars in our country and you want to sell to the largest market in the world, which is us, by the way. Fine, but you got to get your parts from here. You can't get them from Mexico. You can't get them from China. You got to get your steel from here.
Yeah, that, and he wants to bring. So the biggest problem that he said this, and what's really crazy is he said this 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
Yep.
That the economy is crashing around them because everybody's leaving the United States and building factories outside of it.
The thing he's referencing was him on Oprah Winfrey. It was like 25, 30 years ago. And you can go look it up. Look at Trump on Oprah back in the 80s and 90s. He's been bitching about this. And he said then, you want to fix this, put a tariff on it. It'll make it go away.
Yep.
Because it works.
He's been saying it.
He's been saying it for 30. This is not a surprise. This is not new. He's not shocking anybody with what he's doing here. He's simply doing what he said he was going to do. And what people need to understand is, honestly, the only people who are really badly affected right now, and I hate to say this, but it's you guys in the stock market. And it's only if you're stupid enough to sell.
Yep.
If you stay away, just leave your money alone. I promise it's coming back. It will.
I mean, it's kind of up to interpretation, because you're like, guys, like the stock market has just went on like 15% discount.
Yes. Now's the time to buy. Now's the time to buy. And what these and this is what I will say to all my liberal friends: do me a favor, sell everything you have. Sell it all. Go grab your bongos, go out to the woods, hug a tree, hump a horse, do whatever it is you want to do, and don't ever come back to society. That's what we want you to do, because we've had enough of your dumbass. You dumb fuckery. Look, Buttercup, you guys have fucked around long enough. We've had enough of your bullshit. And all you little bastards, and I'm going to say it because now you got me fired up, Knight. All you little bastards that protested this weekend, I hope that they got you on camera. You are a terrorist. Full stop. That's what you are.
By definition.
Look, you have a right to protest. You do not have a right to break down people's private property. You do not have a right to threaten people's lives. Come step to me and say that shit. See what happens. You've heard the term, fuck around and find out. Baby, I'll light you up like a Christmas tree in freaking July. I don't care.
Gaffo.
I have bail money, not afraid to go to jail. Do you? Because I've had it. And the bottom line is, we cannot talk to these people anymore. We can't, because they're not rational.
No, not at all.
They're in their fields. And I have a really good friend, okay? I call her a recovering liberal because she is. She's from Southern California, okay? I won't say her name because I haven't talked to her about this yet. But one of the things that she always says to me, she says, "Daddy, bro, you know why being a liberal sucks?" And I said, well, there's a lot of obvious whys. And she said, no. Do you understand why they are the way they are? And I'm like, I don't really care. And she said, it's because everything they ingest is rage. everything they look at is someone revving them up that we're in a crisis. We're doing this. For example, and John Stewart did a piece on this not too long ago where he was talking about how all the NBC, CBS, and them were like, Trump has started a purge. Do you know what he did? He fired 15 people who were running what are those offices called? The Inspector General's offices.
Mhm.
He fired 15 of them.
What does an inspector general's office really do?
Well, exactly. They're an oversight. They're basically a council of Karens is what they are.
Yeah.
In essence. So he fired 15 of them, and the reason he fired them is because they're liberal dingbats who were just gonna exploit their position to make his stuff not happen.
Like the judges of nowadays.
Yeah, well, we're not. No, you're not baiting me with that one tonight. I am not prepared to have that stroke. Oh, my eyes twitching. Yeah, all I'm going to say about the judges is deep breath. Have you guys heard of this? Now I know my little liberal friends out there like to quote this guy. His name is Alexander Hamilton. Yeah. And in one of his famous writings, he talks about how there's 3 co-equal branches of government, but one of them have absolutely no teeth, and they're basically there to interpret law. Guess which one that was? The judges. And he said in that quote in there, he talks about how if they ever get a wild hair and decide to be dumb and become political, well, then we're going to have to make them go away.
Yep.
So guess what? It's time.
Yeah.
Get out the axes. Get out the bush.
Yep.
Time to chop down those trees.
I've been waiting for it, though. And I think that I'm going to be honest, though. Judges are impartial. They uphold. Okay, hold on, Jesus.
Oh, wait a minute. Did he just say what I think he said?
He did. Oh, here it is.
You don't know what they're talking about. Or are you just being facetious? I hope you're being facetious. I know you're being facetious.
Judges are impartial. They uphold the Constitution. I don't know what Daddy Bro's talking about.
Really?
He is being facetious.
Yeah, you better be.
He's trying to bait you into this one.
My head.
He's trying to bait you into this.
My head just exploded inside.
Yeah. So
ouch.
Yeah.
Don't make me go back to the voice.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
The inner demon is strong on me today.
Yeah, right.
So the problem with the judges is never in the history of the United States have we ever allowed them to make these decisions that are effective to everywhere.
And the thing is they have no power over.
They have absolutely no legal authority to do so. And
none.
what these dumbasses don't understand is because they've done this, now the administration can take them to task, take them to the Supreme Court, get a good ruling, and end their ass.
Yeah,
they just screwed themselves. Well, I don't know about that part, but what I'm worried about is jurisdictionally ending their nonsense. When a guy from the DC Circuit Court can tell the federal government how to run their foreign policy, something's screwy here.
Yeah,
you don't get to do that. You don't get to say, you don't get to say, well, you got to turn that plane around. Sorry, dude, it's too late. It's out of our airspace, and I'm not listening to you. You don't have authority. Sorry.
Right.
The executive still has foreign policy say.
So here's a funny thing though that I've been hearing a lot. I've got 5 top talking points that I want to bring up later.
Bring them.
But I will. But this one came up this week. And I was like, oh, you know what? That's actually a good thing. I'm going to talk about it on the podcast. So I saved it all week long. So MSNBC, or I'm sorry, MSDNC, I should say, put out a thing this week that said that the only person that can go up against Trump right now is Obama. So there might be a three-term president coming in the making, right? Now, first off, let me say this. Okay? If you even think remotely that Obama would win against Trump, please, I would love to see the third-term presidency happen. I would love it because Trump will wipe the floor with Obama. He hasn't a leg to stand on, especially after the whole Kamala Biden mess that was left. And the fact that Biden had how many freaking illegal things going on while he was in the vice presidency, like selling the Biden name, using the Biden name to commit crimes. taking money from foreign agencies,
He got a
taking.
pardon for that. You can't
Uh,
touch him.
that's right. He wrote his own pardon. I forgot about that. Um, and on top of that, though, here's another thing though that I would love to see happen. I would love for them to actually bring in the entire cabinet of the last 2 years of Biden's presidency and talk about his competency. Now, here's why I would like to see this happen, because if they got all of them and they brought them forth in front of the Senate and Congress, and they were able to justifiably say that Biden was gone, he was loony, had no fucking understanding of what he was doing, unlike what they were saying on the news media outlets, and the lying Joan J. Pierre, whatever her piss name was, I don't even know, but Captain Pubic Hair, that's what I'm going to call her from here on
Be
forward.
nice.
Oh, I'm just saying. So, anyways, Captain Pubic Hair was saying that Biden was competent and he was ecstatic and he was full of energy and all the 900 things that was complete bullshit. If they could prove that Biden had no understanding of what he was doing or where he was, um, that gives them legal ground to withdraw everything that he did over the course of 2 years. Now,
Wow.
that being said, that means any pardon that he wrote out, they are gone
Well,
out the window.
they're already going after that because they're saying that he used the rubber stamp thing.
But
the
if
digital
they
copy.
can prove that he had no recollection or understanding of what he was doing, then everything that
I
he
don't think
did
I
is
don't think
out
there's a
the
Democrat
window.
with the balls to do that. To be honest with you, but it'd
They're
be
saying
nice.
it now. It's already
Well,
written in books.
I get it, but that's different than putting it on the official record. Now, come on. Keep in mind, Hillary's still around, and she has a tactic that works pretty well.
Yeah, well, I mean, she could come and
Disappearing
try.
and suiciding
She can come
people.
and try. Try me. Try
Oh,
me.
good.
This tier 1 will actually ruin your day, Hillary. This tier 1 will ruin your day, Hillary.
I don't
You know.
want to go there with you. I'm a betting man, but that's not one I would make.
Oh, you can make the bet on me. I'm more than capable.
Yeah, well, you're not the only one, but I wouldn't take that chance with her because she's got a pretty big track record. So I think in essence, the big thing right now is realizing that this is short term. All this nonsense is going to go. What's going to be fun, because I've been hearing it since God knows since he took office, that he's going to do a third term.
I would love
He's going to be it's not going to happen.
I know.
For a myriad of reasons. Primarily, he's too old.
Yeah.
Two, he's got better things to do, like play golf.
Yep.
And honestly, he doesn't. I don't
think he wants to.
This nonsense that he wants to be a king is just that. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't see it. Is he a megalomaniac? Absolutely, but there isn't a single politician that isn't. Come on. They're all attention whores. Every one of them. Name one that you can think of in the last 100 years that wasn't an attention whore.
Yeah.
I can't think of one, except for maybe Truman.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because he was a dumb farm boy.
Yep. Well,
and I'm saying that with all the love in my heart because he bombed the shit out of Japan.
I see this as, and Lucian, you're going to have to put in your 2 cents here too. I want to hear your thoughts. But I really see Trump is actually making way for JD Vance to actually continue on the mega agenda. And
there's no way he's not.
Yeah, well, no, I see it. And I'm saying I'm putting it out there.
I mean, let's put
AOC
it this
is
way.
a megalomaniac. She's doing great work out here. Oh, for God's sake, Jesus, I will block you. I will block you for saying such ludicrousy.
You know what she's good for? If I ever meet this woman, I swear to God, I'm going to say this to her. Go get me a beer, bitch. That's what she's qualified to do. She can sit down and shut the fuck up. The big kids are talking now.
Yeah, right.
We've had enough of her nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, like large scale, like politics. There's no way Trump's not trying to serve up JD Vance after his term.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way that any president's getting a third term.
Yeah.
And so if the Republicans want to keep offices, JD Vance is the obvious, like, next person if they don't find somebody better.
The thing,
DeSantis, maybe.
yeah, I mean, there's a couple.
I don't think
of
he
them,
runs
but
though.
there's a couple of them that will that. So if I was to be honest, though, I don't see anybody else being able to pick up the Republican ticket that will have the face to do it. JD Vance is the only one that's in step saying the exact same things that Trump is.
I mean, it would make sense, and this is kind of like, hey, this is your trial run to see
Mhm.
how things work before you actually do it.
Yep.
Like it, if you pick anybody else, you yeah.
Well, I will say this about JD Vance. When he first was named as the ticket guy, his vice, I was like, man, he's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And then he did the 60 Minutes thing and he lit that chick up and I was like, oh, I like him.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
Pete's a warrior. He has no interest in being a political leader.
Yeah, Pete Hegseth is
he's too busy.
He's where he
fixing tier
belongs.
ones.
Yeah, he's where he belongs.
He's getting my show ready, Jesus. I'm telling you.
Yep.
I actually know somebody that knows him pretty well, and I've been whispering magic in their ears. Hey, tell him to start this new show called Tier 1. I only want 10%. And then go after the cartels for me, would you?
Yep.
Come on, buddy, do it.
And so
Playing with fire.
And oh yeah, but before I forget, hey VA, hey, I'm Dallas VA. How's it going, buddies? Are you having fun with that investigation that's going on right now?
So I actually wasn't gonna touch that.
I hope your ass is lubed right now because it's coming.
Right. So I was actually going to say
I had a good part in that, and I'm so excited.
Freaking, you know what, man? Yeah, I wasn't gonna touch it.
Oh, it's
I wasn't
good
going
times.
to. But I was gonna touch something else, and I'll bring this up really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So increased funding for veteran healthcare.
What? No.
Right? Now, where is this money coming from, you say? Oh, well.
Certainly not the insurance company.
What insurance company? We don't have one.
There is no insurance company. So here's the thing, though. Taxpayer money that was supposed to be prioritized for DEI is going to veteran
that's gonna
healthcare.
chap their ass.
Oh,
that's gonna really chap their ass. Hey, there's your AOC lead in. She's gonna be angry. She's gonna hold an investigation about her and that Crockett chick.
Yeah. Well,
that dumbass. Oh my god.
I don't know how far they can run with that because it's like,
oh, they're gonna run all the way because they're too stupid.
Yeah.
They're part. Look. The Democratic.
It's like if part of me is gonna say it's like we've even if you're not like putting down like any sort of DEI stuff, it's like if you're gonna tell me that we spent all this money on DEI and that DEI is better than supporting our veterans, I'm gonna.
Oh, Lucian's gonna roast somebody for this. I love it.
Don't do it. Don't come to the dark side.
Come on, Lucian. Come on, Lucian. Let's hear it.
Just remember, we have cookies.
Listen. I'll take bribes off air, but not on air.
It's not my style, dude. But I get you.
So yeah.
It's the kind of thing where I think to say one is given how much we already spent on our military, to say that it's like, oh, like yeah, like war is horrible and all this other stuff that people have been exposed to, and you're gonna try and tell me that that we can't spend money on this. It's like, what argument are we making here? What argument are you actually going to make?
People in the inner city, though, we have to help them because they can't help themselves.
It's like have people not been paying attention to?
No, they haven't.
They're
in a cult. They're in a cult, and the problem is the cult has money.
I've actually heard that there is like an actual real like DEI cult in like the game industry, and it's actually getting like terrifying.
No.
Oh,
really?
No idea.
That's a huge surprise. Bye. Oh, by the way, speaking of the gaming industry,
apparently,
bye Ubisoft. I won't miss you. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Bye. 10-cent bottom.
Yeah, Ubisoft is one. And you know what other one actually is going away and I'm upset about?
What's
I'm
that?
actually upset about this. So Project Sigil from D&D is stopping the funding for it and fired all of the developers for it. And so they're going to finish out the original stuff and then it's going to stop there. And I'm about to beat your ass, dog, if you don't stop. Jesus Christ.
Easy, big fella.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna mute myself, but yeah.
No dog violence.
No. I'm just gonna make her go downstairs.
Yeah.
But the next big topic was defense budget expenses. That is gotten expanded. So give me
That's
one
one I
second.
didn't expect.
Yeah, let me deal with this really quick, and then I'll be right back. But you guys talk amongst yourselves.
I mean, it's like just from the stuff that I've heard about how military spending goes, is that if we could actually get that under freaking control and how ridiculous it is, it's like not of the money we spend on our military, but the prices we get charged.
Yep.
For government and military products is ridiculous.
It's the same thing they do with the gaming world, right? You add the word gaming to a keyboard and you can charge another $20.
Yeah, but it's like on steroids when it comes to military.
Of course, because no, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. No one in Treasury does their damn job. Nobody asks for an actual check bill. You know, they don't check the funds. They don't say, "Oh, does this make sense to pay this amount?" And
it's like an order of magnitude greater.
Oh, it's stupid. And they've been doing it for years. And of course it is.
And it's so disgusting. And then at least in the tech world, I know they're doing all this. They want to do all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, we have the budget, and you're still telling us we can't do this.
Yeah.
With the amounts that we're charging, you're still telling me we can't do this.
Yeah, because they got to keep their second yacht. Come on.
I'm so kind of just to a point where I'm like, what can we do at this point besides just tell you that you're not allowed to extort the United States government?
So
I think that's enough.
Do you guys know how much it's actually gone up by? The expansion?
No.
$50 billion to upgrade our military to keep us ahead of China, to keep our everything understanding the cost for weak defense.
Isn't that like a cup stand? 50 billion?
Yeah.
That's like a saucer and pan.
Are we just gonna stick a couple of lemonade stands outside?
Yeah, well, on the Navy ships, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Easy, high speed.
Oh, good. It was easy. It was low hanging fruit, man. I had to go for it.
I know it's the only fruit you can eat.
So, are you making a short joke? That's what it is.
Not at all. Shorty.
It's like, are we looking into anything about like how much we're actually being charged for our military? Are we doing any of that?
Oh, they just started.
No, they're getting into all that.
Because wasn't like Elon or something, or Doug was like invited to like the Pentagon expenses, but they're like not allowed to like.
They're not allowed to disclose it.
Right. Like, it's Pentagon, right?
Yeah. One of the things that was brought up though recently, and this was a couple weeks old, I think, or maybe even a month old. Rivets for a helicopter. Okay. Now, rivets for a helicopter in the civilian sector are 16 cents per rivet. Okay. 16 cents per rivet.
Wait to hear this one.
Yeah.
Tell him.
Same rivet is used in the same in a helicopter, right? The same rivet. Nothing has changed on it.
No change in material.
No change in at all.
Okay.
$1,200 per rivet, and they come in a pack of 160.
And do you know why?
What could you possibly justify?
Here is the justification, and this is the game that they're going to play forever.
Mm-hmm.
National security.
Okay.
And we have to get all of our people cleared, and everybody in the production line has to have at least a top secret clearance. Do you know how much clearance costs to get? It costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And somebody's got to recoup that cost. That's their argument.
Yep.
And you know what I say? Bullshit.
Yeah. It's
Okay,
It is a bullshit.
so here's the thing. This is a like I know I have some friends who do have these clearances, and it's like a couple of weeks worth of time. Like,
Yeah, but and look,
it does cost money
in
though.
fairness, it ain't cheap, and they
Yeah.
gotta track stuff
okay,
down. And if they're actually, and I'm using this term with air quotes,
I
if
know,
they're actually
but it was
doing
like
the job,
I'm sitting here and I'm like I'm expected to get like at least 2 or 3 certifications. Like just in the civilian inspector, it's like I am expected to get 2 or 3 certifications within
Hmm.
the next like 2 or 3 years, like on my own dime, and like
yeah.
spend all my own money
Sucker. I mean, look, good for you.
outside of work, and I'm just kind of like
Yeah. No, I mean,
what?
that's the stupidity. That's the stupidity in the market
Like
right now.
I don't understand what goes into security certifications, and it just doesn't sound right to me. Like
Right.
Well,
things are not adding up.
it's look. The bottom line is this industry is corrupt. It's always been corrupt.
Hmm.
Eisenhower said it best when he left office. He talked about this in the 50s and the 40s, right? They warned about this shit.
Yep.
Nobody listened, and now you have this huge complex, and the only way you're going to crack that nut is letting someone like Elon and the Funky Bunch go in there and or bend them over and whisper in their ears sweet nothing and ram it
Yep.
all the way up in there. That's what needs to happen. We need to gut these people, and it's going to suck, and there's going to be some pain, but that's what needs to happen. Did you lose power?
No.
His light went out.
No, it's on
It's on timer.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dark
So,
Yeah, see, I just had to wait until the right time to like come to the dark side. It's this whole politics thing.
Yeah. Yeah. We get it. We get it.
Yeah.
So then there's another thing though that was brought up that I wanted to bring up, and that was that.
He's got notes.
Oh, I do, dude. I've been taking notes all week. I've been wanting to. I'm like, this is something to talk about.
He's
right?
been percolating.
Yeah. So the the DEI sector of the military that was defunded has been completely reversed and completely thrown out, and the people that were in charge of said policies have been let go.
Yeah.
Sad true story.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but good. As a Army veteran for the infantry and the special forces communication side, I will say that fuck you, DEI. We don't need your shit. All right. So if you're more concerned about your fucking makeup than getting the job done, you're doing it wrong. All right. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's no sympathy for that. Like I'm gonna take this one from one of my favorite YouTubers. He usually makes shorts. Get fucked, cunts. All right.
Easy,
So,
so you know what we need to do? We need to go back to the Spartan thing and make the Jaga come back.
Yeah.
Where we take your
Jaga.
firstborn, I think it's called the Jaga. They basically take your 7-year-old son and they strip them down and they don't feed them and they make them thieves and they turn them into these warriors. That's what we need to start doing. That'll fix this damn problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard it from somebody who was on the other day. They were talking about how people are always bitching about male toxic masculinity. That's what we need in the military.
Yes.
We need a bunch of big dick swinging bastards who want to just either hump stuff or kill it.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
And
we don't
leaning more towards the killing. More towards the killing of it. So
please lean towards the killing because there's some people that really need to be killed right now.
Yeah.
Seriously. You need killers to take out killers, and that's where we are in the world. Look, I don't want war. I want everybody to get along and sing kumbaya and all those good things. But let's be honest, that is not our world.
Yeah,
we are a world full of dumbasses who fuck around and find out until they do. Ask the Houthis; they're finding out now.
Yep.
Right.
Good one, Jesus.
Did you see the? I don't know if you've seen the tape or not. You maybe haven't, but there's a tape out there where the Houthis are getting together to have like it's almost like a stand down where they're talking about what they're going to do exercise wise. They're getting ready to do a mission. Yep. And there's a drone overhead, and all you see is a flash, and they're all gone.
They're all gone.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
That's
that.
bad. And I'm like, hey, dumbass, you don't have that, do you?
I mean,
Y'all shouldn't pick a fight with people that are bigger than you. Don't mess
Right.
with our boats, baby.
Yeah,
You mess with
exactly.
the boats, bad things happen to you. We get a little cranky about that. Ask the Japanese.
Yeah.
Don't do it. That was
'Cause
the
I-
original fuck around and find out, by the way. That's where
Yeah.
that comes from.
Yep.
Originally.
What you got, Lucian?
I mean, there's something to be said in saying it's like, yeah, you don't have to look very far in this world to find out that we really have a tendency to start killing each other over basically nothing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of thing where it's like, it's great to have like utopic like ideals to go to. That's great. I'm not sure a single one of them is going to live up to reality, just because like the world's just not going to let you do that.
Right.
And saying that it's like, is even with some of this like DEI stuff, is about saying it's like, it's great. People shouldn't hate each other over small things, but at the end of the day, it's like, guys, we do need to get this job done.
Yeah.
And I yes, we've heard this message. I've been hearing it for a decade straight.
Mhm.
Like I we
There's
got the message. We can we please
yeah. Well, no, I've got
do our job.
Yeah, right, exactly. And see, I've got the perfect place. If you want to be the drag queen star of the world, the military is not where you go for this. Okay, you could go down to Lemon Avenue in Dallas, Texas, and go get your strut on. All right, go do what you got to do.
Better yet,
That-
jump on a plane, go to Palestine,
Yep.
because you guys love Palestine so very much,
Oh, that's
and
true.
just walk the streets and make their day happy with a little glitter, and
Mhm.
see how that works out for you.
Yeah, yep. And so, like,
My guess is you'll get tossed from a building somewhere.
yeah.
Just a guess.
So my original statement stands. GFC. All right. Speaking of DEI, though, and while we're talking about the everything that's been going on this week, how about the stabbing that happened in Frisco, Texas?
Dude, did you see
Okay.
that?
Yes. Yeah. And did you hear about why it happened?
Wow.
Over a seat.
Over what?
Over a seat. Over where somebody was sitting. And
Aw.
he was the kid in question, the actual murderer, he was going into the wrong area, sitting in the wrong school
Alleged, by
seating.
the way, not actual. We
Mm,
don't know for sure. Alleged. He hasn't been accused. He hasn't been prosecuted yet.
Okay.
Alleged.
All right. Alleged.
That's fair.
Alleged. He allegedly went into the wrong area. Was asked a few times to leave the area. Apparently, some comments were going back and forth.
Were they
The-
from rival schools or something?
Yes, they were from
Oh,
opposite
yeah.
schools. Some wording came out. It turned into a yelling match, and instead of taking the high road or anything like that for a 17-year-old, okay, a 17-year-old that let me point this out. Since the libtards like to throw this imagery out the window, saying you're just painting a picture. This is the kid, okay? This is him. This is him holding an AK. This is him showing the middle finger. That is the kid that stabbed another kid in the chest and murdered him.
Allegedly.
He didn't even say. He said no. He's saying, everybody keeps saying allegedly, and he's like, no. I did it. I was defending myself.
Well, then I hope he enjoys being Bubba's girlfriend.
Yeah. So
better yet, because it's Texas, let's just stick him on the front of the line for the electric chair and zap that fucker.
No, I was gonna say it happened in front of more than 5 witnesses.
It sounds to me like a hate crime too. Wasn't the kid white?
Yeah. He was a white kid.
There should be a hate crime. That's an excess. Ooh, we got to make that. That'll be delicious.
But
It's
you
hate
know what?
crime.
You know what all the libtards are saying? That those 2 pictures right there that I just showed are painting a bad image of a murderer. I'm sorry.
Oh,
You're
well.
17 years old in the state of Texas, and in the state of Texas, you are technically classified as an adult at the age of 17. You can do things at the age of 17.
It's kind of like Alabama.
Did they rolled it back from 18 to 17?
No.
No,
Texas has
it's always been
always
that way.
been 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
Texas has always
Just
been
like
17.
you're legal in Alabama at 13 to have consensual sex, apparently.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah,
So-
Mississippi too, baby.
Man, people are weird.
Stupidity. I know.
And then you wonder why people are the way they are, do you?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know why I'm still surprised by these things at this point.
So,
I
but
don't
in
know
this in the state of Texas, you are classified as a legal adult whenever it comes to a heinous crime like this. You
How
are
did he get in the
classified.
building with the knife? That's what I don't understand.
That doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah, there's
It-
usually
it-
metal
it was-
detectors.
It's a track meet. It's a
I
track
mean,
meet.
it's absolutely wild because it seems like every single year we like lower our standards for what crazy shit we're gonna do for the dumbest reasons. It's like every single year it gets lower.
Yeah.
And it's like if we really want to talk about like societal progression, if people really want to have that conversation, it's like okay, how about we have this conversation about like having emotional control,
Right.
not not literally turning not how about we like talk about not having like every political conversation turning into a pissing match.
Right. Exactly. Like what happened
if we
to
could
UC
actually
Dallas.
have those conversations in universities again?
Yeah.
What if we could?
Right.
That would be societal progression because people are going to say that like, oh, we have these conversations. Like, no, you don't.
No.
You don't. Those are
It's
echo
one-sided.
chambers.
Yeah.
Those are echo chambers. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah, it's one-sided. And so
And so-
here's it, no, you're absolutely right. And here's my biggest problem though. Here's the biggest problem that I see with it is we're going to take the side of the killer, all right? And not the side of the
Which is
victim.
still wild to me.
Right.
Why is that?
When they're still saying alleged and
Right.
meaning
Well,
that we
I mean,
don't know.
There's a reason they do that because technically in the United States, until you're found guilty in
proven guilty.
court, you're innocent. And
Okay.
I want to hold those appearances. I want to hold those appearances. I'm okay with that. You have that right. We are not Europe. We are not England. You're not guilty until you prove yourself innocent. You are innocent until proven guilty. Now, if he self-admitted, and I do believe he did,
He did.
then
He
you're
did.
screwed.
He said, "No, I actually did it."
And if you think that makes you a man, it doesn't. It makes you a bitch because you are not going to be the big guy where you're going, pumpkin. You're going to be someone's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I hope you have a good time with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
no.
part of me is sitting there. It's like, okay, well, it's at least on the media front, right?
Right.
Mhm.
If there hasn't been a court decision yet,
Well, it just happened, so no.
Yeah.
right? So, what I mean, we shouldn't be going all like the media shouldn't be going absolutely
Well,
like
but
ballistic,
they're
like
going
just
to
this soon.
This is a cult. They're a
Yep.
cult.
This
And
is
any
what happens on the left.
variation, anything that deviates from the cult format is going to be problematic for them, and they've got to squash it. Because if they don't, they lose control. This is all about cult control.
Mhm.
It's the same thing with all these protests that happened over the weekend, right?
Yep.
It's the same mentality.
I mean, I don't think it gets that far. Is that this is just the way people have been conditioned. It's not
Right.
even. There's
is
no
conditioning.
official cult. There's just
It's
just
an
the
indoctrination
way
from the left. They've
people
had 40 years to
are
do
conditioned to
indoctrinate
do
us,
this.
and this is why we got rid of the Department of Education. Yay!
Yep.
Bye bye.
Because I mean one of the biggest like gripes that I have is that it's like anytime it's like literally anything happens in the United States, the first response is just sheer anger,
Mhm.
and then that's all you hear.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
It-
okay, can we like say something productive? Can we say
right.
something productive yet?
And see, here's what I would like to see, honest, and this is me speaking from the heart here. Okay, we can have our differences. We can see things differently, and that's perfectly fine. Like that is the way a healthy debate is supposed to be done. If we are going to start sitting here and saying, "No, you are absolutely wrong," blah 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 blah, blah and go off like a fucking AR-15.
I like those.
Yeah, I know. I do too. Especially
Angsty.
the smell of gunpowder. I miss it.
Oh, gives me a boner.
So, but if we're gonna go off on being wrong, instead of doing proper debate like what America was actually built on, you've
That's
got to
not
be ready.
true. We were built on other bad things.
Well, we were built on war. I'll be honest with you.
Christopher Columbus. Oh wait, no, he never came to America. Oh, but they lied to you and tell you he did.
Yeah, I'll go there too.
That one hurts my brain.
Yeah, that one's dumb.
I got my kid in trouble at school for that this year, by the way.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, I had words with her social studies teacher. I almost put my foot all the way up his ass so much he could cough the water off my knee.
I mean, you should ask him. There's one question that I always anybody that's a history teacher should be able to answer this one truthfully, and that is, who were the first people actually here in Americas? In the Americas, and everybody's going to say one of two things: Native Americans, or they're going to say
the aliens,
Christopher Columbus. So, but there's a actual.
Wasn't it? It was supposed to be Native Americans, Vikings, then whatever close to Columbus was supposed to be.
Right. So originally, though,
No.
Native Americans crossed the what is that? The
bridge between Russia and Alaska,
which is, by the way, not true. There's no evidence. It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
That's saying. I said supposedly. I said supposedly.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. So, but Native Americans were here. All right.
You need to lead.
Vikings.
You need to listen to Graham more.
Yeah, I know. But Vikings were the actual first ones that made their way over here, and I say that
because he's a Viking.
With the yeah, well, I mean,
he eats strudel.
I've got Viking blood and Native American blood. That's crazy.
What she said.
So at that rate, though, we should be able to find Viking heritage in the Native Americans.
We have.
We have right here. I'm the image of it.
They're look. The Vikings did come to the East Coast. There is substantial evidence to this. That's not wishful thinking. There's all kinds. You can actually, if you go to Minnesota, you can find runes, like Nordic runes. How did they get there? Did the natives do it? No, it was the Vikings, dumbass, because they actually prospected somewhat. Now, keep in mind too, when the good old fashioned white people in 1620 came over with the Plymouth, Massachusetts stuff, right? They walked into native tribes areas. They walked into their villages, and everybody was already dead because the Vikings brought the smallpox. They don't tell you that part, do they? Nope.
Yep.
They lie to you. So
actually, on the topic of smallpox,
yes,
did they ever find the like missing disease that was Ameripox?
Not that I'm aware of. I've heard of that. I've heard talk about that. There's a lot of debate on that.
For context for people watching, the whole idea is saying that if somebody comes to the Americas, then they're like the first people to come to America. They brought whoever that was. They brought smallpox, and it decimated the Indian population, the Native American population,
which is not true.
The problem is, what disease did the Native Americans give the settlers? Whoever it was, what disease did they give them? Because we can't find it.
And because we're superior. I just burned somebody's brain up.
Dude, you're going places. But it's about saying, it's like, where did there? Because every single time we see, like, these isolated cultures come together, they exchange diseases, and it's a problem.
Right.
We just don't know. We can't find Ameripox. Is that we have no idea where
it's at AOC's apartment.
And so,
and there that went.
Sorry. So
out the
window. So there's a lot of theories about it. Honestly, it's a really interesting to have. It's really an interesting thing to study and have conjecture on. I would argue that the whole idea that they came up through the Bering Straits and they walked across, I call bullshit on the whole thing. It just doesn't make sense. If you look at the populations of South American Indians and the way their culture grew, it doesn't make sense.
Northward.
Yes. Not only did it grow northward, it was way, 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 way more advanced than it should have been realistically.
Yep.
Okay.
That's true.
And if you really want to blame somebody for being a dick and bringing disease, blame them. Blame the people from Spain and Portugal. Those people were the ones that were really being dicks and bringing their diseases because they brought certain animals with them, and they, it was a nightmare.
Yeah,
and keep in mind now, you had the Incas and the Mayans who had death cults too. By the way, we could have called them liberals and gotten away with it because they like to kill each other too.
Yep.
So it is what it is. So the reality here is, we act as if the way things are now is something new, and it's just not. We've done this over and over, and culturally over and over and over again. We tend to forget about the ancient Romans. We forget about the Greeks. They've done these things. Do you know that when Rome and Greece started to feminize itself, that's when they went away? That's when they fell. Oh, big shocker. You turn yourself into a bitch and some badass comes along and takes you over. What do you know? What are the chances of that happening?
Right.
Now, I'm not saying might makes right, and maybe we're finally in a place in society, in the world, where we can actually rationalize things with each other. I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it. We can't even stand an orange man in the White House right now.
I'll wait for evidence that we can actually rationalize with each other.
Well, but that's my point. We can't, because we can't even tolerate an orange man who's done nothing but spoke truth for the most part. And I want to be clear. I am not a fan of Donald Trump. I'm not. I don't like him. He's a populist. I know you do. You can, do your thing. I don't have anything against him, but I have a problem with populism because populism is dangerous. How do I know this? I've studied Teddy Roosevelt. He's a scary dude. He did a lot of fucked up shit.
Yeah.
He screwed us up. Everything named Roosevelt is a bad thing for this country as far as I'm concerned. They're right up there with the Kennedys. Every time one of them dies, I have a party. It is what it is. And the bottom line is, we need to learn from these events and this culture that we just tend not to learn from it.
Yeah,
and another thing,
one of my greatest fears is that we're going to be so divided that we can't learn from history.
Well, we're not even teaching. We're not even teaching history. My kid is learning the Civil War right now. Right? Do you know what they're calling the Civil War in the state of Texas?
Oh no.
The War of Northern Aggression. It's a lie. That's not what it was. Yep. I know you're from the South and you're going to tell me I'm wrong, but I'm not.
No, I'm not. In fact, I was going to bring up the fact though that here's a little bit of history that a lot of people tend to forget, and this one will rattle your brain, Lucian. I'm sure Daddy Bro already knows.
Come on with it.
So the North and the South go to fight, right, over the Civil War.
Yep.
Yeah. Where were the Democrats? South. If you say the North, you are wrong.
No.
You're wrong.
They were all in the South.
They were in the South.
And the Democrats were all Southerners.
Republicans were in the North.
Yep.
Now everybody talks about the big flip that's happening right now, right? So what you guys don't realize, a lot of people don't realize this, is the big flip happened right after the Civil War, where the Northerners took over the South.
It's called Reconstruction.
And what happened to the Southerners? They moved north. So the Democrats were here. They were always here. All right.
You're gonna tell me that I'm really a Southerner? Is that what you're gonna tell me?
If technically speaking, if you wanted to go back to ancestry, I guess you find out that you would actually be a true Southerner. But
not me.
Well, I mean, you're just an anomaly.
No, I can trace my lineage all the way back to William Penn's time, and it's all up north. And they were Amish.
All of my family. All of my family. Yeah, I can trace mine all the way back up to like Michigan and all that area.
So you were out there eating fish and humping grubs and stuff. Have fun with that.
Yeah. And so it wasn't until like the mid to late 1800s. Lord have mercy, that it started moving south into.
You're old.
Yeah.
Should we have a 13th Crusade unite the? Oh, good God! Look. That's a touchy subject. We're not going to talk about the Crusades because I have a definite attitude about it, and all my Catholic friends get very angry at me when I bring it up. So I'm not allowed to talk about it. I have a restriction on that.
Yeah,
my wife especially doesn't like me talking about the Crusade.
Yeah, and I don't talk about religion, period, because
I'll tell you what it comes down. It's why I won't shake the hand of a priest. I'll just put it to you that way. I hold you. Look, I'm a firm believer, and you should be accountable for your history, and you should be They were the best. Okay, and you should be accountable for the things that you believe in, right? So if you back something that believes in that kind of stuff, then I have no problem with Muslims. I want to send them all to Allah as soon as humanly possible for them. I'm all about it. I will help them. And I mean, because to tell me that their culture is peaceful is pathetic. It's the most aggressive culture in the history of mankind, bar none. Bar none. It's not even close. And I mean,
we can always set up cage fights.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm all for the freaking Doom Bowl. All right.
What is this? Like international WWE? Like what?
That would be awesome.
Happening?
That would be amazing.
You know, they did that. They did it in Saudi not too long ago. They had a couple fights over there, which was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
especially since they have women wrestlers.
You ever seen Mad Max? Have you ever seen Mad Max?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that would be.
Yes.
2 men enter, 1 man leave.
Yeah, that would be me. I'm all for it. They were retaliatory effect of the Muslim aggression on Christian lands.
Yeah, not so much. That's not totally. That's partially true, but not exactly.
Yeah.
It was more of a power grab than anything else. Period. And it didn't. I don't care. And look, I want to be clear. I don't hate the Muslims for the crusade. I hate the Catholics for the crusade. Because not only did they do that, they did the Spanish Inquisition where they were barbecuing people who just didn't believe their religious stuff.
Yeah.
And that's because the church, up until that point, was the masters of the universe. They controlled governments, they controlled science, they controlled every aspect of life. And they started to lose control. And the minute they did that, they clamped down like all good fascists do. And they killed everybody that disagreed with them. Because we're really good at doing that. We're good at killing our smart people. Look at Galileo. Look at Plato, for God's sake. Look at Socrates. We do it over and over. And Tiananmen Square, they do it every generation. They find out who the smart people are and go, oh, we can't have that.
Mm-hmm.
We got to
Elon Musk.
Well, they're trying.
Musk. Yeah. I'm so glad to see that Donald Trump actually takes that shit serious, though. Like, have you noticed that Elon Musk kid is always around Donald Trump? He's always there.
Uh-oh.
And Donald Trump's like all for it. And you Secret Service is like, we got this. We got it.
All right, guys. I got a jet. I got to go kill a dragon in Minecraft tonight.
Yeah, you got like 2 minutes left, man. You got 2 minutes. We got to
get
you
that's a long time.
Yeah, we got to get you out the door, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, with that, though, I had more notes to
I know you do. That's why I'm cutting you off before you get me really started, because my head already hurts.
We'll end it here. But, all right, ladies and
gentlemen. I've had 2 coffees today, damn it. I can't do anymore.
That's it?
Hey. Squeeze me.
Fair enough. All right, so all right, ladies and gents, boys, girls, whatever you are, veterans, bros, sisters, whatever. You guys take care of yourselves, man. If you guys need somebody to talk to, me here, this guy over here, I'm over here playing with the mic. That guy down there.
I want your soul.
Yeah,
what a thing to say.
He's gonna go all Mortal Kombat on you. I got nothing for it. So, anyways, Lucian, you got anything you want to say?
Don't suffer alone. If you're having issues, talk to somebody, reach out. We don't want to sit alone.
Yeah, exactly. Dark rooms are not the way to go. And then last but not least,
dark rooms can be a lot of fun if you do them right.
Yeah, fair enough.
You can play the Stranger game. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys, make sure you get yourself something good to eat. Get yourself something good to drink. Hug the people in your life because you never know how long you're going to have them. And last but not least, if you need help, get help. Getting help does not make you weak. In fact, makes you strong. Have a blessed night. And AOC, I'll see you in my dreams, pumpkin. I love you. Mwah.
What?